Hey guys, I'm Joel Rutherford, and I'm the carpenter teacher here at Muscle Shoals Career Academy. And today I want to talk to you just a little bit about using a nail gun. We're going to talk just a little bit about the safety considerations that you need to keep in mind when you're using a nail gun. And then I'm going to just briefly walk you through how to use a nail gun. Now, first of all, anytime you use a nail gun, you always need to have eye protection. Make sure you know how to use a nail gun before you start using it. There's different types of nail guns, so if you have never been trained, you may need to get some training, read the instruction manuals. Just make sure you know what you're doing before you grab a nail gun. Now, this is a pass load framing gun. These are very common in the construction industry, and they're very durable. I've seen these things take a lot of abuse and still just keep right on working like they did from day one. And this is a sequential, this nail gun has a sequential trigger mechanism. And what that means is it has a safety right here where the nail comes out, and it also has a trigger right here. So in order to fire this nail gun, first of all, you have to have the air supply connected, which I don't right now. But if I had the air supply connected, what I would have to do is take a board or take the nail gun and press it down on a board and then pull the trigger, okay? Pressing the safety down without pulling the trigger won't fire a nail, and pulling the trigger without the safety press down will not fire a nail either. Both of those situations have to be true for the nail gun to fire. So we're going to press the safety and pull the trigger, and then we've got a nail. Now anytime you're going to use a nail gun, make sure there's no one standing in the line of fire. It's a possibility you could miss if you're shooting through something thin like OSB. I've seen nails shoot completely through the OSB and fly across the room and hit a window or hit somebody. You don't want to do that. So make sure that all bystanders and coworkers are out of the way. Never point this nail gun at anyone, even if you're just joking around or if it's disconnected, whatever. We don't ever point it at anyone. Always keep your hands and any body parts out of the line of fire when you're using it. Whenever you use it, like I told you before, you press it firmly against the workpiece and then pull the trigger. If you're walking around, whether it's in our shop or on a job site somewhere, don't walk around with this trigger squeezed. It might be very easy to bump into something or bump into someone, and if you've got that trigger squeezed and you bump the safety just right, you can fire a nail. So you don't want to do that. Always treat this thing as if it's loaded, has nails in it. There may be times when you're using a nail gun when one of the nails gets jammed in the barrel, or you may have to perform some other kind of adjustment to the nail gun. And if you ever have to do that, always disconnect the air hose. Okay, you don't want to do any of that while the air is connected. You can end up shooting yourself in your hand. And like I said before, always wear your safety glasses when you're using one of these. Now that's just a little bit about the safety rules of a nail gun. And now I want to show you just a little bit about how a nail gun. Okay, that was just a little bit of information regarding the safety rules of using a nail gun. Now I want to talk with you just a little bit about just the actual usage and the procedures that you need to go through when you're going to use a nail gun. Now first of all, we're going to add a few drops of oil into the air intake. And the air intake it's right here, it's the back of the nail gun. It's kind of like a little nozzle. Any type of air tool oil will work. And all you got to do is put 3 or 4 drops in there. There's not really a magic number. You just want to keep the seals and all the parts inside of this nail gun lubricated so that they work properly. Now we don't really have to wait for that oil to drip down or anything. When we put air pressure on this thing, it's going to push the oil into the places that it needs to go. Now, the second thing that we're going to do is load the nails in. And what we've got here on the side of this nail gun is a little sliding mechanism. And it just slides up and down the track there. What you do, you pull it back and it will lock. It locks into place. Then you take a clip of nails or a card, these are called different things, and you slide it right into that track, just like that. And once you do that, then you can press this little button on the back side of the nail gun right there, and that will allow the sliding mechanism, and it's spring loaded, to come down. Now, one thing I don't want to do is press this button and then just let that go, because it's going to jam the nails up into the barrel, and it can cause the nails to jam and not shoot whenever we need them to shoot. Okay? Now, the next thing that I've got to do is connect this air hose. And if you look at most air hoses, they have a little, sort of like a little shroud around it, and it's spring loaded, and it goes up and down. And what you got to do is you hold it in your hand, and you pull that down, you put it on the air intake, you press it, and then you let it go. And it's locked on there. It won't go anywhere now, okay? And you can hear, you may be able to hear a little bit of air leaking out of this hose. That is not necessarily a deal breaker. It's not going to cause any safety issues or anything like that. It's going to cause your compressor to run a little bit more than it has to, but other than that, it's not going to hurt anything. Now, when I get ready to fire this nail gun, as I told you before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the workpiece wherever I want it, and I take and I press that trigger down. I press the safety down. When I press the safety down, I'm ready to fire. All I got to do is pull the trigger. So here I go. And it'll shoot right in there, like that. Okay? So, when I'm done, I always disconnect this fitting here. Make sure that the nail gun's not pointed at anybody or anything that can be damaged. Pull back on this and loosen it. And then you're ready for break time. Now that's just the basics of how to operate a nail gun. It by no means is an exhaustive video that shows you all the ins and outs of how to operate a nail gun, but I think I have given you enough information that you can at least get started and go use a nail gun safely. So thank you very much, and again, like I said, I'm Joel Rutherford, the carpentry teacher here at Muscle Shoals Career Academy, and thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video.